Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're digging into a financial report from a company called Fedfina. Now, I know what you might be thinking. Financial reports? Super dense, right? But trust me, hidden inside all these numbers is a really fascinating story about a huge economic challenge and one company's very specific plan to solve it for India's small businesses. So let's start with a truly massive number. 92 trillion rupees. What on earth could that possibly represent? I mean, it's not a company's valuation or the national budget. It's actually a gap. That's right. That 92 trillion rupees is the estimated credit gap facing India's small and medium-sized businesses. It's the massive difference between the loans they need to grow and the financing they can actually get their hands on. And this, right here, is the central problem we're going to explore today. So what does a 92 trillion rupee gap actually feel like? Well, it means millions of entrepreneurs can't buy that extra piece of equipment, they can't hire a new employee, or open up a second shop. It's a huge handbrake on the very engine of the Indian economy. And when we talk about these businesses, we're talking about MSMEs. These aren't giant corporations. They're the local tailors, the neighborhood tea stalls, the small manufacturing workshops you see everywhere. They are absolutely vital. But as we've just seen, they often struggle to get the capital they need to thrive. So how do you even begin to tackle a problem that big? A 92 trillion rupee problem? Well, Fedfina's answer is right there in their vision statement. Empowering emerging India with easy access to loans. Their entire mission is aimed squarely at this exact issue. Okay, so we have the problem and we have the mission statement. Now let's actually meet the company at the very center of this story, Fedfina. The first thing you need to understand about Fedfina is just the sheer speed of their growth. Their loan book, what they call assets under management, or AUM, it didn't just grow, it exploded. From 5 billion rupees in 2015 to over 157 billion today. That is more than a 30-fold increase in about a decade. This tells you they found a formula that really works at scale. So what's driving that kind of insane growth? Well, a lot of it starts with trust. They're backed by the very established federal bank and have a top-tier AA+ credit rating. You add to that a laser focus on MSEs and a clear set of company values, and you get the foundation for that kind of explosive expansion. You know, a great vision and strong backing are one thing, but execution is everything. So how exactly does Fedfina lend to all these small businesses? Well, their playbook is surprisingly simple, and it revolves around two core assets, gold and property. Just one look at their loan portfolio shows you how focused that strategy is. It is completely dominated by what they call their twin engines. About 54% are mortgage loans and another 40% are gold loans. Everything else is just a tiny sliver. And here's the key takeaway. This means over 96% of their lending is secured against a physical asset. So let's break down those two engines. On one hand, you have gold loans. These are smaller, faster, and used for quick cash needs, with an average size of about 1.9 lakh rupees. On the other hand, you have mortgage loans, or loans against property. These are much larger, averaging nearly 29 lakh rupees. They're typically used for major things like business expansion or renovation, and they have a more detailed income assessment process. And this is where all those numbers and charts become real. These aren't just abstract financial products. A 1-lakh gold loan helps a tailor buy a brand new sewing machine. A 74-lakh property loan helps a snack retailer open 2 new outlets. Each and every loan is tied to a tangible story of a small business just trying to grow. Okay, so we've got the problem and we've got the playbook. But the big question is it actually working? Is it profitable? Well, the latest financial results give us the answer. Here are the headline figures. Their total loan book, their AUM, stands at nearly 15,700 crore rupees. They dispersed almost 6,000 crore in new loans just this quarter. And their bottom line profit after tax was a very healthy 75 crore rupees. These are solid numbers that point to a stable and growing operation. But for any lender, profit is only one part of the story. The real test of a sustainable model is the health of its loan book. I mean, are customers actually paying their loans back on time? let's take a look at their asset quality. To do that, we need to understand a key term, gross non-performing assets, or GNPA. It's simply the percentage of total loans where borrowers are more than 90 days late on their payments. Basically, a lower number is always better because it indicates lower credit risk. And Fedfina's number is 2.0%. Now, what's really important here isn't just the number itself, but its stability. It's flat compared to the last quarter. This suggests that even while growing at that incredible pace, their process for evaluating borrowers, their underwriting standards, has stayed disciplined and super effective. All right, so let's pull all of these threads together and look at the big picture. When you put the strategy and the results together, a really clear model for managing risk emerges. One key part of their risk management is just good old-fashioned diversification. This chart shows they aren't overly reliant on any single region of India. With 44% of their loans in the south, 33% in the west, and 23% in the north, they've built a balanced national footprint that protects them from regional economic shocks. So if you remember just one thing from all of this, it should be this. Their entire model is built on two simple words: secured and granular. Secured because, as we saw, over 96% of their loans are backed by hard assets like gold or property. And granular because they aren't making a few huge risky loans, they're making lots and lots of smaller loans to a wide base of customers. In fact, 77% of their loan book is with customers who have a credit score above 700, which points to a really high-quality borrower base. You know, when you lay it all out, the Fedfina story is a clear, four-step journey. Step 1, identify a massive problem. Step 2, create a simple, focused playbook. Step 3, execute at scale with a huge network of branches. And Step 4, measure success not just by growth, but by stable, healthy profits. And this brings us to our final thought. Fedfina has shown a really powerful model for a specific market. But it makes you wonder, right? Could this focused asset-backed lending strategy be the key not just for India, but for unlocking the potential of millions of small businesses in emerging economies all over the world? It's a pretty compelling question to think about.